Imagine a man who rose from a small Australian town to become the longest-serving prime minister in the nation's history. A leader whose words, charisma, and vision lit a new flame in the heart of his country. But behind every flight, there is a dark night. And Robert Menzies' story too was a journey filled with triumphs, failures, and a legacy still alive today. Today, we travel back to the days when a boy with dreams walked out from a small lane to touch the stars. December 20th, 1894. A cold morning in Japarit, Victoria. In the home of a schoolteacher, a child was born. They named him Robert Gordon Menzies. The home wasn't wealthy, but it was rich in one thing: respect for education. Robert's father, James Menzies, was a schoolmaster, and his mother, Kate Menzies, was a strong, sharp-minded woman who told her children, "Education is not just for jobs. It's for becoming a better human being." From childhood, Robert's heart belonged to books. But his dream was not just to learn. It was to change the world with his words. In school, Robert was unlike the other kids. Always asking questions, always thinking, and always topping the class. His hard work paid off when he won a scholarship to Melbourne University. For a boy from a small town, this was a door opening into a whole new world. As a law student, a new side of him emerged. A brilliant speaker on the debating stage. His words were not just speech. They touched hearts. The year was 1920. Robert Menzies had now become a successful barrister. His style in the courtroom, his voice, left people in awe. He didn't just know the law. He understood people. At that time, he made the biggest decision of his life: to step into politics. In 1928, he became a member of the Victorian Legislative Council. And from there, began a journey that would lead him to the crown of Australia in the early 1930s. When Australia was going through the Great Depression, Robert Menzies, with his passion and vision, was climbing the political ladder at a rapid pace. In 1934, he became a member of the House of Representatives, and soon after, the Attorney General and Minister for Industry. People began to feel that this man would one day lead the nation, but with every rise, storms follow. 1939 was a year that changed Menzies' life forever. After the death of Prime Minister Joseph Lyons, Robert Menzies became Prime Minister. It felt like a dream. But that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. It was the time of World War II. The people were anxious, the nation divided, and Menzies had little support. In 1941, the pressure grew so intense that he had to resign. After that, some mocked him. Some called him the forgotten man. Defeat only happens when you don't rise again. And Robert Menzies was a man who rose stronger after every fall. In 1944, he formed a new political party, the Liberal Party of Australia. People laughed, people said, "A retired leader, what can he do now?" But in 1949, Menzies answered his critics. He became Prime Minister once again. And this time, he transformed the nation. Under his leadership, Australia saw economic growth, education reforms, and a stronger national identity. Sir Robert Menzies served as Prime Minister for 18 years, a record that remains unbroken. He played a major role in making Australia a modern, prosperous nation. But perhaps the greatest thing was that he had a vision. A vision where Australia could be proud of itself. People say he was a tough leader, but also a teacher. Someone who inspired an entire generation with his words. Few know that Menzies loved poetry and was deeply inspired by the works of Shakespeare. January 17, 1978. Robert Menzies said goodbye to this world. But his story was not just the story of a leader. It was the story of a dream. A dream that began in a small town and lit an entire nation. He taught us that falling is not a mistake. Giving up is. Today, when we look at his legacy, a voice echoes deep within. Never stop. Because your time will come.